So, welcome to Building a Culture of Coding at your school. So here's our agenda today. I'm in teacher mode right now. I will say because of remote learning, my girlfriend is a music teacher in the other room, so we might hear some singing or some piano. Please forgive it. Hopefully you'll be able to hear me just fine. We'll get started with a quick poll, just kind of see where people are at. I'll introduce you to Vidcode. We'll do a quick walkthrough of the platform. If you are good today, you will win a prize for every teacher at your school or district. And then I'll give time for questions and some closure. We do have about 45 minutes. I will probably get through the demo and everything in about 30, and then we'll have 10 or 15 minutes to answer any questions. So to get started, please in the chat box, true or false, I need everyone on board to change the culture of my school. Please either put true or false if you believe this statement. I need everyone on board to change the culture of my school. I'll wait about 15 seconds. So yeah, it seems we are all very much in agreement here. Yes, certainly. I know as an educator, I was a curriculum designer and I was a department head for about 5 years as well. Yes, you need everybody. Like you can't change culture if you don't have everybody. So our objective today, I'm here to show you how this single coding platform can do all the heavy lifting for every teacher at your school, even the ones that know little to nothing about coding, and effectively build a school culture around it. That's my goal today. Please hold me to it. And I'll try to make it as entertaining as I can because I'm sure we're all a little tired of screens. So this is a real shot, not really, I'm kidding, but this is a pretty accurate shot of me teaching during COVID. I do teach part-time now. I do this. And so I am on Google Classroom. I am teaching remotely. And I teach music too. And so that via Google Meets is a very difficult combination. And so I just want to say, I know I'm speaking with people, school leaders or tech directors from all different walks of life, is that you're hearing it from a teacher's perspective. And so I was a part of this club before I ever joined the staff here, because I think that this is pretty amazing. So if you have teachers like me, we were very much overwhelmed by COVID. We didn't know the first thing about it. I mean, we don't have time. We have an entire curriculum to get through. You don't want to be throwing new technology at a teacher. Oh my goodness, it's so overwhelming. There's so much going on. So my job today is to hopefully alleviate that stress. We are here to help, and that's kind of the goal today. Great, I have a few more people joining us, so I'll wait just a moment. Hello to everyone popping in. Hi. If you have any questions, you can put them in the chat box, but you're just in time for our presentation. So what is Vidcode? Let me just quickly do a quick overview of what Vidcode is. It's a cloud-based platform, meaning your teachers don't have to download anything. It's all online. It's a curriculum and a platform. We have everything together. We have all of our learning resources, our lesson plans, our grading system, rosters, like everything is online. Nothing has to be downloaded. So it's freeing up computer space and hopefully alleviating a lot of teacher stress in the process. The second one, hours of free, rigorous and standards aligned lesson plans. We are research backed. It is all standards aligned, developed by curriculum professionals. You know, like we take it very seriously. We work with teachers throughout it, myself included. And one of the things that our platform is famous for is that we teach teachers how to code alongside their students. And so we are the platform that is bringing coding into classrooms that you wouldn't expect coding to be in. So it doesn't fall on the computer science teacher. It doesn't fall on, or just, I should say, just the computer science teacher, just the tech director, just the principal, whatever it might be, is that it really does create a culture. And I'll show you exactly how. And that's going into what makes us different. So first of all, we're the creative coding platform. And what I mean by that is that multimedia is our specialty. Students are not just coding to code, we are creating. And so as a teacher, I was always looking for the top of Bloom's taxonomy. How can I get them creating? How can I get them exploring something new? So they're making games, they're making Snapchat filters, they're making memes. They upload their own content. They can use a webcam. It is very much the beginnings of it with JavaScript 101, which is where we recommend a lot of students start. is that we're the creative coding platform. You can bring in any multimedia, any music, any text, any graphics, any memes, and we can work with it. So that's one of our strengths. Two is that we make everything pre-made, is that we want to make sure that teachers are not stressed. We want to make sure that you bringing coding into your school is that you are able to implement it immediately and make it as simple as possible. And that's our goal. And so what you have here are 3 examples. One is in a history class that was using coding. One is in a science class. And I guess 2 are history, 1 is science. The one in the middle could be science or history, math. And so these are all the ways in which they're using content, creating memes, but with our platform. And this is the one that I love to brag about because it sounds hyperbolic, but it's real. We're the only research-backed platform and like to be named the #1 computer science platform in the world. So we were ranked by the Education Alliance of Finland. It ranked as many, I don't even remember how many coding platforms around the world. And Vidcode's curriculum and platform was ranked #1. We were a Parents' Choice Silver Award winner in 2020. 2019 Best in Show. We are backed by the Department of Education. We tried to make sure that we had the platform that wasn't just some one-off luck, is that we have been polishing this for years and years and years. And we are very proud to say that by you offering your students and teachers our platform, you are literally offering them the best computer science program you possibly could. And we are very proud of that. But to go back to kind of our introductory question today, we were talking about one of the roadblocks is building a culture. And so we tried to see how we could fight that. And we wanted to make sure that teachers were collaborators with their students, so they're learning code together. And so they are always kind of in tandem walking through the same programs. And so simply put it, in order to bring coding into your school, teachers need the passion to dive in and to make it work. And we allow that to happen. And that's what makes us different, is that you're not just throwing your teachers something and saying, hey, good luck, here's computer science. Is that you are equipping your teachers to grow in their digital literacy and their digital citizenship, as well as your students. And what's great is that because it's multimedia, it can be brought into any classroom. Yes, we cover computer science standards, and they're learning coding, and they're learning JavaScript and animation and a whole bunch of other great things. But they can learn through the context of other curriculums. And so we have design teachers, we have fashion teachers, we have a music teacher. There's so many things, and they're all utilizing it. So the best way, I think, is to just jump right in. So I'm going to unshare my screen for a moment as I pull up the website, and I'm going to take you through a quick walkthrough of it. So here is the Vidcode website. And to sign in, all teachers have to do is make an account. I'm an educator, and so I'm just going to sign in with I might already be signed in. Great, I'm already signed in. So what you're going to see here, I'm going to walk it through what the teacher sees and what any administrator could see if they become a kind of co-teacher, and I'll show you all what that means. So sections are what we call sections classes. Is that you can do exactly as we have here, period 4, period 2. This could be, if you wanted to differentiate based on student performance, you could have students that are moving quickly through something, and then students that might need a little more, might need to revisit some things. So depending on what you need to do, pretty self-explanatory. You just add this little plus button, and you can section. Oh, I'm sorry, if I could have, great. Yeah, great, just wait a second, I have a few more people coming in. So, I'm gonna jump right in real quick, and I'm gonna first show you what the teacher dashboard looks like. So, when you become an educator with Vidcode, and teachers can do this now, they can sign up for a free account, and they can have access to hours of free resources right now. I'm going to show you all the bells and whistles that come from everything, and maybe you'll win a little prize for teachers that you know if you hang out for a little bit. So anyway, You add teachers. If you want to have a co-teacher, you simply add this URL. But to build your roster, you're going to go where it says students over here to this plus sign. And just like a lot of teachers in schools that are familiar with Google Classroom or any other kind of LSM, they simply copy this code and you can give them that code and they can sign in. They immediately populate onto your roster here. They also can go via the website, vidcode.com, and sign in with this code, but we find a lot of teachers find it much easier if they just copy and paste and email this. They automatically populate in alphabetical order, and then they also give you an idea of when they signed in and when they joined. If you look up top here in this big purple bar, you'll see all the things that we try to make it as easy as possible for teachers. The first one are the assigned courses, and I'll show you this when we get into the course library. But this gives you a quick overview of what students are working on and how they're moving through it. So you see their section progress, you see your own progress as an educator moving through it. It gives you an idea of how long the course will take and how many activities or kind of chunks, lessons that are involved in that. If you jump to progress, you can see each student, how they're doing, then the time that they've spent on each activity, which activity they're working on. And then we also like to do a little kind of celebration because we want to make sure that there's also an idea that they're working towards something. So we have some teachers that either print them off and put them in their classroom. In COVID times, if you're remote or hybrid, you can send a PDF and they can download it. But that's a quick way to kind of celebrate their successes. If a green circle means they've completed the course, yellow means they're in progress. So that's another quick way for an educator to see kind of how their students are doing. Sketches are going to show teachers exactly what students are working on and see their progress throughout it. So teachers get an idea of seeing how far students are and exactly what they're working on. This can be filtered. If you go up here up top, I can say I can sort the projects by date submitted. And so if I have a timeline and I say all these things must be due by Friday, is that you can see exactly which student submitted which project and exactly the date and time that they did it. So that gives you another quick idea. Our main goal, again, is to alleviate teacher stress. So it comes with all the quizzes. These are pre-made quizzes. They are standards aligned. They work with all the lesson plans that are already embedded in this, and I'll show you that in a moment too. These are multiple choice. They do give immediate feedback to students, and they cover everything that each kind of class and each kind of, I guess, chunk of the lesson plan will cover. Every course has at least one quiz, so you can kind of assess by the end of it or towards the end of it how they're doing. But I think the best part is just to jump right in and kind of show you exactly what it looks like. So over here on the left, you're going to see we went through our sections. That's what the teacher sees. Now we're on the course library. And so here, if you look up top, we have middle school pathways, high school pathways, if there are any libraries that are joining us today, and then either at home for tutors or for one-on-one remote learning. So I'm going to stick with middle school right now and just show you real quick. We have hour of code, and again, a JavaScript sequence. We recommend starting with JavaScript 101. This does come free with the educator, just the free educator account that any teacher could make immediately and start utilizing. But I'm going to jump right in to JavaScript 101. But as you see, memes, stop motion, animations, game development, digital citizenship, and then cross-disciplinary, cross-curricular. And so this is to engage other subject areas and teachers as well. So let me just jump in real quick. I might have to go here real quick. I'm going to enter the course. So as you see, here's JavaScript 101. And again, we are the multimedia coding platform. So here's everything they're going to do in just the first few hours. Create a filter, recreate a filter, a challenge a little bit to kind of check in and see how they're doing is the digital quilt, make a meme, a Snapchat filter. At 8, they're going to have their little quiz to check in, and then every single course ends with a final project. So again, going back to that Bloom's taxonomy, we want students to be creating, and so every student creates by the end of every single course. So I'm going to jump into create a filter. This now is what teachers and students see. So this is the exact same depending on if it's remote or hybrid, whatever it might be, teacher, student, they all see this, and this is kind of our coding arena, I like to call it. So Again, we're here to alleviate teacher stress. We're here to build a culture, right? And part of that is making sure that we're not overwhelming teachers or students. So this is all based on their own activity, on their own schedule, and their own time. That being said, to the left, you see are all the instructions. It walks through all the progress from day one to day, whenever you want to go to. There's also a text-to-speech button. So let's say you have students that might not be reading at the level that you might want them to be. It'll break down the text for them so that they can hear it and they can play it again and again to make sure that they understand it. To our right, you kind of have our multimedia gallery. So we have tons of already uploaded. This comes with every account, all these different backgrounds, different graphics from different memes and things like that, and different audio. You can upload any file. We suggest not the largest file in the world, even though it can handle it. But they can upload any file, or they can even record from a webcam. And so they can create whatever they want. So I'm going to move through this real quick. And it breaks things down to show you exactly what we're doing today. Here it's defining JavaScript, and so what we're going to work on. And we start with a drag and drop model. And they do get to more kind of text writing later on, but in JavaScript 101, because we are introducing this to either teachers or students with little to no coding background, we want to make sure everybody's on the same page. So I'm going to click this concert, and you'll see it appear here. It will automatically loop. And then we start by just dragging and dropping it into our code editor in the middle. And this will change it. So just for the sake of time, I'll go through it pretty quickly. This is just to give an idea. By clicking on it, it's very exploratory in the beginning to help. So just so we can see this better, I'll just get rid of this. And they can have fun, and we can add text and all these different things. So let's say we've gotten through it. We've added graphics and audio, and we've explored kind of the first block of JavaScript 101. When students are satisfied, when they have completed the course, they can either save a draft up here or they can submit it. And when students submit it, they can give it a title. So I'll just say Great Concert, because that's kind of what that was. And in our lesson plan, which I'm about to get to, it's going to break it down for some reflection questions. So another way to kind of check for understanding before class is over is that they can talk about, like, I learned about JavaScript and blah, 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 whatever they do. So this automatically gets uploaded to the teacher account the moment they click that button, so it timestamps it. And then you kind of get what I like to call the little coding YouTube page. You get like the video on the left and the code on the right. If you offer them feedback when you're looking at it, they can simply edit it. Students can remix one another's work. And so if they're collaborating with another student, they can go back and do that. They can download it if they so choose. But the share button is a simple way is that it does easily connect to Google Classroom, since we have a lot of teachers that utilize Google Classroom. But you also can embed this anywhere. We also like to stress that we believe strongly in protecting student and teacher data. And so if you were to share this code and embed it, it's not linked to any student account, and it never goes away. It just exists on its own. And so on our platform, it exists under their name. But once it leaves the platform, it is safe, it is secure, and you can share it, and it is not associated with that student anymore. So all they have to do is copy it and paste it. So that's a brief overview of how students go through it. But my favorite part as an educator is the lesson plans and resources. Your teachers are obviously tired, they're working hard. We wanted to give them everything. And I, as an educator, man, would I have appreciated this. So it looks like a lot because it is, but let me just show you real quick how we break it down. So we were in JavaScript 101. So I'm going to go down my long list and go to JavaScript under Create a Filter. And this is a lesson plan that it has been developed by curriculum designers and teachers extraordinaire. It's been reworked, and constantly we are always getting better at it. But this gives you everything that if you needed to see looking at a lesson plan. It gives all the standards. It gives a duration of the best way that we have found teachers can move through it with the highest success and learning outcomes. Usually the teacher introduces the idea of it, breaks down any vocabulary. They are coding for most of it, and then we end with some reflection or extension activities. We go over any information that the teacher might need to know. We also offer a sample solution for every class. And so a teacher could hide the coding on the right and introduce each lesson by saying, hey, this is what we're working on. We're working on filters today. And your goal would be to create this and, with whatever content you choose. And that's totally, again, up to your teachers and how they would like to approach it. We do offer the reflection questions at the end to expand on their thinking and show what they have learned. My two favorite parts, though, is that we do offer a cheat sheet in the sense that this is for any teacher that, let's say, wants to make sure they really know what's going on. This breaks everything down in friendly teacher talk to make sure that you are getting through everything in a fun and down-to-earth way. But I think what any teacher would appreciate is that we also offer slides to every single lesson plan. So your teacher never has to create any resources. We have literally offered everything they would need. They could show up at 8 o'clock to teach a successful lesson at 8:05 just by opening this up. We find this is great for the moments in which teachers have had to gone from remote to hybrid to remote again, is that they're able to pick up right where they left off. We found this is helpful with teachers who need a sub. They're going to say, hey, I'm on slide 6. This links exactly at the same pace as what the students are going through in the coding platform itself and the lesson plans that I just showed you. So everything is as aligned as could possibly be. Everything is standards aligned as well, rigorous, and we are always collecting feedback from teachers to say, oh, it would be even better if we can, great. So we're always updating our platform to make sure it's as easy as possible. And so the last two things I'm going to show are the gallery. If you look at the bottom left on our kind of teacher dashboard here, we have the gallery. And this is all students will be working on. You can show this to inspire them. They can explore this. This is a Snapchat filter. This is an animation. This is a game of Pong for any of us old enough to remember what that is, and all these different types of things. You also, as a teacher, can go through this, go through your own students with sketches. Let me just quickly jump to that. So my sketches are what the teacher is working on, but I want to quickly show you what the students are working on. Is that when you click share up here up top, is that when students are working on something, you can create your own teacher gallery. So for students that feel comfortable and you get their permission to publish their work, we found teachers can utilize this either in the classroom, school-wide, on a school newsletter or a parent-teacher conference or anything like that. And so by adding different things to a teacher's gallery, what you can showcase this to other students in your class or school-wide. And I would say, for example, my name is Mr. LaSalle, Mr. LaSalle's coding section showcase. And then it'll show all the students and what they're working on. So that is a brief overview of the platform and all that you can do with it. So I know I'm breezing through this, and I promise there'll be time for questions. So if you have one, please don't forget it. I'm just going to wrap up my little presentation today and hopefully send you on your way with a prize. So let's review real quick, because I wouldn't be a teacher unless I wrapped everything up nice in a neat bow with an exit ticket of some kind. The problems that Vidcode solves. We find there's a major increase in student engagement because it is student-led. It's naturally differentiated to move at each student's pace. And the multimedia gallery, because they can upload whatever they would like for all different classes. Student engagement is at an all-time high. We give teachers a break. We decrease teacher planning time, prep time, and stress. We have the research to back up that we are the #1 computer science platform in the world. And so we know that we can make sure to produce some great learning outcomes. Again, with the multimedia and then the kind of natural differentiation that's involved, there's a flexibility. You can choose to do an AP computer science course all year long, or you can choose to just do it in a coding club, for example. If you have days where students are just in an advisory or in a homeroom or after school, for example. And our favorite part is that teachers are always thrilled that they get to learn coding, that they get to be more digitally involved in their students' development. And so not only do they get to learn, but they can ensure their students learn because they're learning with them. And so they are facilitators and collaborators. And so 2 last things I'm going to show you today. Here's just a quick overview to show you that after 10 hours, so this is just some of the free stuff that we offer for teachers to get started immediately. Saw a 20% increase in their understanding of coding loops, variables, and sequences. So this is showing that all the material that is given to teachers on day 1, all the resources, the lesson plans, the quizzes, the assessments, the Google Slides, that there is, you can ensure that students will be learning and taking something away from it. But you came here, hopefully, because you wanted to change the culture. And so the great part about this is that we also have studies on our side that say that we really can change the culture with this platform. This was developed by 3 strong women who wanted to disrupt the idea that computer science was for one particular group of people. And so they wanted to make sure that everybody felt like a programmer and everyone felt like they had a place in the computer science world. And so they also put a lot of time and energy into making sure that the data was tracked to see if they could change the culture. And so as you can see, yes, after those 10 hours, just 10 hours of Vidcode, confidence in their coding abilities skyrockets. They identify as programmers, skyrockets, and then thought of themselves as technology people. And so this is after 10 hours. Imagine what could happen after a whole semester, after a year, especially with a district-wide, school-wide, to think 6th, 7th, 8th, 9 through 12, whatever it might be. If you're building this culture, in this multimedia world and preparing them for game development or just exposure into the kind of computer science world and what technology can offer them. That's the kind of world that we're trying to create with this platform. Oh my goodness. You guys are the winners. Congratulations. You've won. So in the beginning, I said you might leave with a prize. I was lying. I knew you were going to leave with a prize. And so here's what we're doing. You all work too hard. Your teachers work too hard. So we're doing a special right now because we know it's been a crazy year. We're offering your entire staff, like everybody, every teacher who wants it, a free pilot of all the bells and whistles that I just showed you until March 31st. So any teacher in your school, all the teachers, every teacher can utilize this until March 31st of this year. So they have about 2.5 months to utilize it. We are here to offer support, demos, PD, whatever you need to make sure that you can really build that culture. We want to play a role in getting there. I'm going to send an email with a follow-up after this, but just so you have this on your radar. All teachers have to do is sign up by going to vidcode.com/signup/teacher, and they're going to create a free educator account with their educator email. And then they have to email me, Adam. Luckily, it's easy to remember, adam@vidcode.com. And I will update their full pilot. And they can get it immediately. No questions asked. It's a turnkey curriculum platform to give them everything they might need, especially with the beginning of semester 2, depending on where your school calendar might be. If you're already in semester 2, if you're about to jump into semester 2, we just want to give you all resources because, we're all on the same team here. And so again, I'll email all of this. You do not have to write any of this down. But congratulations, we're happy to offer it to you and any teachers you might know. So to wrap up nice and clean, in the beginning, we asked you to reflect on the idea I need everyone on board to change the culture of my school. And we agree with everyone that said true. And that's exactly why Vidcode was created, is that we are hoping to change the culture. We are hoping to really spark change in schools all over the country, all over the world. And so I'm hoping that you got something good out of this, an overview. At any point, you can certainly reach out to me. I will be sending a follow-up email from adam@vidcode.com. That's me. And we can connect about demos for teachers or resources or the best ways to get started. We do have a webinar coming up next week, actually, that is getting started with Vidcode that I would be happy to send out to everyone here today. That just walks teachers and educators and school leaders through the best ways to utilize For example, JavaScript 101 for a middle school class, or an AP computer science class if you wanted our curriculum 1 through 1 through, is it 501? I forget exactly off the top of my head, but pretty much that is that. So